What's up, everybody? It's OC Motor coming at you from Chris Got Games on my first live on YouTube. Stop by. Let's shoot the shit about video games. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab something to drink. Gonna let people file in here. And get going with this stream. So yeah, I'll be right back. What's up? What's up, everybody? I see people starting to come in. That's cool. Go ahead and ask me any question that you want. We'll officially start here at 6 o'clock. Give it about 2 more minutes for everybody else to filter in. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these in the future. So 1 minute, 1 minute. All right. Here we go at 6 o'clock. So someone in the chat wants to know what my favorite Sonic game is. My favorite Sonic game is Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I label that one game, but Sonic 3 and Knuckles is my favorite Sonic game. How long have I been collecting video games? Well, I've kind of dabbled with video games all my life, but I didn't seriously start getting into like actually seriously collecting video games until about late 2018, beginning of or late 2017, beginning of 2018. When did I start my YouTube channel? I started my YouTube channel in 2018. Was my first video. Thanks to a guy named Justin Colfoyd, kind of motivated me to start a YouTube channel. What's my favorite Super Mario game? You know, I never really grew up with Nintendo. I had a Nintendo 64. I had a Super Nintendo, but I don't know. So I'm like not nostalgic for any of the 3D Marios. But I guess if I had to pick one, I would say Super Mario World would probably, that's the one that I played the most. That's the one I'm the most familiar with. So I'd probably say Super Mario World. What's my favorite video game? I don't know if I have a favorite video game, but eventually on my YouTube channel, I'm going to do a favorite video game for each system, for each console. But yeah, I don't know if I have an actual favorite video game. There's a lot of games in my collection that I still haven't like played yet. So, you know, um one of my goals was to first get my collection, and then see, I'm weird, like I really haven't played my Dreamcast, and it's kind of almost like I don't want to play my Dreamcast until I get all the games that I want for it, for the collection, and then I start playing it. Like one console that I'm really gonna get into playing when I get my new place here in the next couple of months, and I get everything back up and rolling officially with this YouTube channel, is I'm gonna start digging into the Sega Genesis. Now that I have all of the games that I want for the Sega Genesis, and I plan on not getting any more games for it except for Terminator and maybe a couple of custom games like Xeno Crisis and stuff that were made by people outside of Sega that are like still making games for independent games for the Genesis. But yeah, that's probably the first console I'm gonna get into playing. And then once I get to my new place, I'm going to also ramp up. I know there's a lot of catching up that I have to do on a lot of Let's Plays. So, I forget what the last, I think it was Sonic Unleashed, I believe, was the last Let's Play I did. So I'm going to be getting back up on that. What would my advice be to someone getting into video game collecting? Start small, start with what you grew up with. So if you grew up with the Sega Genesis, start with that. And then as far as games go, start with what's popular. Get the Sonics, the Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, Ninja Turtles, stuff like that. Me, I have some very rare games, and in the future I'm going to do videos classifying my rarest game for each console. I have some very rare games that I was just lucky in the right place in the right time to get them, and I had the money for it, so I pulled the trigger. And I think that's what it comes down to too. If you want to get into game collecting and you want to do it seriously, you can't wait. Like if you really see something and you have the opportunity, you're in a store and you have money and you have the opportunity to get something, you kind of have to pull the trigger on it. One example, I was at a local game store, and it's either Maplewood or I think, yeah, Maplewood, called High Score Video Games, and they had a Japanese Sega Saturn, and it was a very good price, and that's always been a secret holy grail of mine that I've wanted since the Sega Saturn is my well, we'll get to that later, but yeah. Well, since the Sega Saturn is my favorite console of all time, my second favorite console of all time is the PS3, and my third favorite console of all time is the Nintendo Switch. In case someone had that question, that answers that question. But yeah, so I had a chance to get that, but I didn't pull the trigger on it because I was there to get other things. And now looking back on it, I'm like, shoot, I probably squandered the opportunity to ever get a Japanese Sega Saturn like that out in the wild ever again. I probably won't see that ever again. But in that circumstance, I'm glad that I didn't pull the trigger on that Sega Saturn, because if I did, I wouldn't have got all of the other stuff that I got that day. And it also, I think it comes down to eventually, what type of collector are you? Are you a collector that's going to like get into this field where you're just collecting anything that you see, where you go to like Goodwill or something like that, and you just, there's a Wii game, so I'm gonna buy it, or there's a PS2 game, so I'm gonna buy it, or there's a N64 game, so I'm gonna buy it? Or are you gonna base it around like, I'm gonna get only the consoles that I really want to get and collect for, and once I get those consoles, I'm only going to get the games that I want. I'm not going to get a game that I don't have just for the sake of getting a game that I don't have. I'm going to get all of the games that I really actually want for the console. For me, with like my Xbox One collection, my PS3 collection, my Genesis collection, my Dreamcast collection, my Xbox regular OG collection, my PS2 collection. Like with those type of collections, it's easy for me to know, okay, I'm getting only the games that I want. But for something like the Sega Master System, or or the 3DO, or like the Atari Jaguar, and like the regular Nintendo, like the systems, or the Atari 2800, 2600, or the Atari 7800, like stuff like that. Like, it's hard for me to predict what my ceiling is going to be with those consoles, as far as like what I'm going to collect for it, because I didn't grow up with those consoles. So I don't know. I'm not familiar with mostly any of the games on those consoles. So I don't know what to collect for it nonetheless, or what not to collect for it. So with those kind of consoles, I kind of, you kind of got to go online on YouTube and, see what the majority of people are recommending for those platforms. But I would say at this point, because like I said, I don't know how many consoles I exactly have, and I have doubles of some consoles. My plan eventually is to have a double of every console that I own. And I don't know how many games I have, but in the future, I'll be looking at all of that. And I think it's a good thing to also document your games too, because once you have your games documented, then you kind of know, like, okay, I know what I have and I know what I don't have. Like it's a relief, like going into a store with like my PS3 collection and my Genesis collection and looking at PS3 games, and like I'll look and I'll be like, there's nothing else that I need for this console. Like I have everything that I need. So I guess it just all comes down to what type of collector you're going to be. If you're like an everything collector, or if you're just going to collect all of the popular titles, or if you're just going to collect only the titles that you grew up with. I mean, I'm fortunate enough to have all of the video games that I have, because I feel like and it's not good just to pull the trigger every single time, but you want to pull that trigger every time you feel it's necessary to pull that trigger. Don't ever be hesitant on pulling the trigger on something if you feel it's the right thing to do, because that's gonna lead you to miss out on an opportunity. Like I could have missed out on so many opportunities with the video games and stuff that I have if I wouldn't have just decided to pull the trigger or found a way to get that game. And there's been a lot of opportunities I've missed out on because I didn't pull the trigger on something. So, like one game that I've always wanted for the Sega Saturn is Die Hard Arcade. And I when I used to see that game for $50, I never pulled the trigger on it. And now it's way out of my price range to want to be able to get it for what I think it's worth. So, I may never get that game. So, it's just things like that that, like, sometimes you got to take the good with the bad. Why is the PS3 my second favorite console? Um, because I think that it set the precedent for video gaming. I think it was the first console to have everything. It had because people ask me if I think that when the PS3 first came out and the high price that it was, if it was justified to be that price. Well, let's look at if it's justified or not. So when the PS3 first launched, it was the first console to have a built-in Blu-ray DVD player. It was the first console to have a controller with a rechargeable battery built in. It was the first console to have built-in Bluetooth. It was the first console to have built-in Wi-Fi. It was the first console to be backwards compatible with two generations of console. So those five things right there, because the Xbox 360, you had to buy a separate HD DVD peripheral for it. You had to buy um a separate thing to get Wi-Fi. It didn't have a Blu-ray DVD player. Oh, and the PS3 was the most powerful console on the market at the time. And they say some of the chips inside the PS3 were even more powerful than the PS4, and that they never actually got the full potential out of the PS3. So there was just so many things like that I could point out about it that made it better than the 360, and it had capability of fully browsing the internet. I don't know if the 360 did, but I know that the PS3 had capability of browsing the internet. So it was ahead of its time in so many areas compared to the Xbox 360. It also didn't have a CD tray. It had like how the CD trays are now, where you put the disc in there and then it automatically pulls it in, and that prevents the CD from skipping if the console is bumped. So, it just had so many good things going for it. And it's funny because people are screaming for backwards compatibility now. Oh, the PS4 doesn't have backwards compatibility with the PS3 and this and that and blah blah blah. Well, the funny thing about that is the PS3 came out with backwards compatibility with the PS2 and the PS1, and everybody griped about how much it was. Nobody bought it. So, if Sony came out with the PS3 and it was fully backwards compatible and nobody bought it, what do you think? What do you think? Um, what do you think message that's going to send to Sony? It's obviously going to tell them, oh, okay, obviously backwards compatibility is not important to these people, because when we put it out with backwards compatibility, nobody bought the console. They didn't start buying the PS3 until they took away the PS2 backwards compatibility and lowered the price. And also the PS3 had better graphics than the Xbox 360. And I don't dislike the Xbox 360. I like the Xbox 360, but I just can't get down with the company that releases a console that they know is going to fail, lie about it failing, but release it anyway. I can't get down with the company that has bullshit practices like that. And if that was any other company besides Microsoft that would have pulled that, they would never be in the video game console market again. But because it was Microsoft, they get a pass, and I don't like that. I have no issue with Microsoft other than that. Why is the Sega Saturn my favorite video game console? I don't know. It's weird because when I was growing up, I had the Sega Genesis and a Super Nintendo, and I had a PlayStation and an N64, and I had a Sega Dreamcast, and I had a Sega Saturn. But the thing about the Sega Saturn is, I'll tell you how I got my very first Sega Saturn, and I still have it. So when the Sega Saturn first came out, my brother's friend Dustin, that's all him and a group of people were talking about in elementary school around the lunch table. And it got to the point where I became jealous of the Sega Saturn because I had the PlayStation, but I became jealous of the Sega Saturn. So because the the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo, my mom and dad bought for me at Funkoland before it turned into GameStop back in the day. And then they got me and my brother the N64 and the PlayStation for Christmas. And they got me the Sega Dreamcast on 9/9/1999 at Target in West St. Paul. Back when Walmart used to be Target, where the Walmart is. I bought the console day one brand new out the door from Target. But the Sega Saturn, when my grandma passed away and we had a bunch of extra money, I went to the Roseville GameStop in 1997 and bought a Sega Saturn. And the Sega Saturn that I bought at that GameStop was basically brand new, and I still have that Sega Saturn to this day. So just and then I don't know, I just went in this weird craze after high school when I was in Job Corps, where they'd give us money and I'd just go to the Rosedale Mall and buy Sega Saturn games. They had this place called Game and Go at the Rosedale Mall, and I just got into buying Sega Saturn games. And I don't know, it's just my favorite console out of all time. The reason why I like the Switch is because the versatility of it. It has a good enough first party game library and a good enough third party game library. But I think moving forward, if Nintendo wants to be successful, because right now Nintendo has the top 10 best selling games in the world, and they're all first party titles. But you know, how long is that going to last? I don't know how much longer that's going to last, you know. So I think Nintendo going into their next console is really going to have to be careful, because there's no Call of Duty on Nintendo, there's no Madden on Nintendo, there's no like Hitman and Resident Evil really and stuff like that. So I think this next console Nintendo is really going to have to push for third party support, because I think one of the problems with the Switch, one of the biggest problems with the Nintendo Switch, is I feel like they released too many of their first party titles all at once on the Nintendo Switch. I mean, what, they got like 7 Mario games on the Switch, so you know it's going to be very hard for them to I think the next Switch is also going to be is also going to be a hybrid console. I think that's Nintendo's bread and butter. I don't think they're going to go in away from the hybrid market. That's their thing now. And like I said in the video that I released the other day, that I think Nintendo could really change the game by being the first game company to have their online service kind of set up like a cell phone service, where if you buy Nintendo Switch online, you get unlimited data for the whole entire month or possibly the whole entire year. So you never have to have a Wi Fi connection when you're playing in portable mode. And I think that could be a game changer. But yeah, you know, Breath of the Wild 2, you know, the new Kirby game and stuff like that. If you really look into Nintendo's future in the next couple years, Splatoon 3, they really don't have any first party titles that I feel like are going to come out that are going to have the same success as Animal Crossing. And yeah, I see we got the boy David Carlson in the chat too. That's what's up. Yeah, and shoot me a question too you might have about something. But right now, I'm just talking about like the Nintendo Switch moving forward, and if I think it's still going to be successful when the Pro or the next iteration comes out. And I think that's going to really be determined, like I was saying, on I think they're going to need third party support this time around for the next console. They got away with not having third party support on the current Switch because they have so many good first party titles, but I don't think they're going to be able to match Super Mario Odyssey. I don't think they're going to be able to match Mario Kart 8. I don't think they're going to be able to match Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I don't think they're going to be able to match Animal Crossing. I don't think they're going to be able to match Pokemon Sword and Shield. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they come up with. If they don't come up with a console that's eventually going to run Call of Duty and Madden and stuff like that, I really don't think the next Switch is going to sell as well as the current one. So we're going to see how that's going to go moving forward. But yeah, I put a little notification out for this on Facebook and stuff. Don't really see too many people dropping by, but just testing this out live and getting it ready in the future. But yeah, um yeah, I really think that that's what it's going to come down to is third party titles this time around. And I don't know why Madden didn't. Well, I can tell you why I think Madden never came to the Switch is because like Madden and Call of Duty are mostly played for their online now, and I really don't think anybody even plays Call of Duty really for anything besides online now, and because the Nintendo Switch doesn't have that good of online service, I think that's the number one factor of why Call of Duty hasn't been ported in some form to the Switch, because Call of Duty was on the Wii U, so there's no reason why it couldn't run in some form on the Switch. But I just think, one, they're not porting it because the online probably won't work that well, and two, they're probably thinking, well, because Mario and everything on the console is selling so well, what's the point of putting Call of Duty on there when it's not going to be as successful as it is going to be on PlayStation and Xbox? And yeah, it's a little blurry here. I'm just using a regular little webcam. I mean, I don't care, I'm not the type of YouTuber that's gonna use a $500 camera and stuff like that. But eventually someday maybe I'll get to that point. My YouTube channel's all self-taught. I don't need like I had said in my video, one of my friends had told me they could edit my videos and stuff, and was gonna supposedly charge me money. Like I don't need to pay anybody to make YouTube videos. Like I can make YouTube videos for free. I don't need to pay anybody to have camera or certain equipment to make YouTube videos for my channel. And if I decide to eventually get a good camera eventually, then that's what I decide to do. But other than that, I mean, I don't really care about that. So but yeah, I'm gonna be getting off soon. Was just kind of testing the waters with this live thing and whatnot. And so moving forward, if you want to see these live videos, they'll be under I put a playlist of Chris Got Games live videos, so that's how you'll find it under my channel, under that playlist. Tell your friends, about it, so we can get more people on here next time and shoot the shit and whatnot about anything video games. Um, but and yeah, and so my favorite controller, that's a hard one to ponder. I don't think I have a favorite controller, more or less. I don't know how people like pick that out. I know that the Xbox controller is pretty comfortable, the PS4 controller is pretty comfortable. I know that I'd say as far as a controller that doesn't have joysticks on it, that only has a D-pad, I would say my favorite controller from that era is probably the Sega Saturn controller, because it had the best D-pad ever created at that point. So I'd probably say the Sega Saturn controller. But yeah, I don't know if I actually have an actual favorite controller. Um, yeah, shout out to Nikki and the kids in the chat. What's up? Um, but yeah, I don't think I actually have a favorite controller, more or less. And like I had said earlier, my favorite console is the Sega Saturn. My second favorite console is the PS3. Um, and I will be telling what my favorite video game for every console is eventually in the future on my YouTube channel. My favorite game, I'll start out by saying my favorite game for Sega Genesis is Sonic 2. My favorite game for Sega Dreamcast is Sonic Adventure. And I'll leave it at that for now, and then you'll just have to guess what my favorite games for the other consoles are until I tell people in the future. But yeah, just wanted to test this live out, ready to get this rolling up and really rolling here in the next coming months in the summertime when I move into my new place and I actually start setting up this channel the way that I really want it. When I was in the place that I was at before, because it was like a one bedroom apartment, I just really didn't have the space to set this up the way that I really want to in the future. And I believe that I can set this. I believe I have enough assets to be able to set this channel up like any big YouTuber that does gaming channels online. I believe I have enough to set it up like that. I just got to get in the right spot to be able to do that. And it's going to be cool because I'm going to be adding like game room tours and collection tours to my channel, just like other YouTubers do in the future when I get set up properly with this thing. Yeah, my boy mentioned the 3DO in the chat, and yeah, that's one of the unique consoles that I have is the 3DO. And I was talking earlier about people just getting into video games. If you're just getting into this, yeah, I don't advise you to jump in as a beginner and try to get a 3DO. It's not a cheap platform. I just luckily got it back in the day. Luckily when it was still cheap. If you can find it for a good price, get it. But like I said, if you're just jumping into this for the first time, try to get like, whatever you grew up with and then just get all of the popular titles that you grew up with. You don't have to jump in and be like, oh, look, I'm going to jump into video gaming and I'm going to get stadium events for NES because it's a $30,000 video game, unless that's the type of person you want to be and you have a disposable income like that to where you want to jump in and only collect the rare stuff. But I have rare stuff. I'm not here to boast and brag about it. I have a lot of rare stuff, but I just got lucky and in the right situation at the right time to get it and buy it, and decided to pull the trigger on it. But if you're first getting into this, don't try to be like other people. Start slow. The key for me, I would say, is to find your own niche. Find a way to make your channel unique that's not like everybody else. And that's what my big thing was for me starting a YouTube channel is like, okay, well, I got enough video games to start a YouTube channel about it, and I have all of that stuff to start it. But I had told Kofoid, I said, I'm not just gonna start because I wasn't gonna start a you. I had no aspiration or intention or motivation to even start a YouTube channel about video games, because I told him, I said, if I'm gonna get into this, I'm not just going to be that same guy that's like, hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Chris. And today, we're talking about the Nintendo Switch and the new Hyrule Warriors game coming out for it, and just be monotone and have commercialized style videos, just talking like every other YouTuber. That's why I did my idea of like switching hats and having like ski masks on, like during my videos and stuff, because I told Kofoid that if I was gonna do this and I was gonna be serious about this, I have to do it differently than everybody else, and I have to find my own unique niche. And so that's my own unique niche that I created. That was the reason why I decided to start this YouTube channel. Because if it wasn't for that, I wasn't just gonna sit up here and just be the same average YouTuber like everybody else, just sitting here talking about the same old video game. I wanted to do it differently, so that's the way I decided to do it. And yeah, I've been collecting for a long time, but my boy in the chat knows as well as I know. I didn't have, you know, I didn't get a PS3 till 2019. So, I didn't really start like seriously like collecting a lot of stuff until like I said, about the end of 2018, once I got a job and had disposable income. Because back in the day, all I had was the Xbox, the PS2, the Dreamcast, and the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo, and those were the only consoles that I had. I didn't have, because I got the PS2, the Xbox, and the Dreamcast. I didn't never had enough money to get a 360 or a PS3 around the time when they first came out. So, that's what I started out with, was those five or six. And then eventually, when I got a disposable income, I got more and more consoles. But yeah, I'm excited to expand this channel, take it to new heights. And like I had said in my video of my channel update a couple days ago, I don't care if I ever get to 200 subs. I don't care if I get 1 million subs. I don't care about all of that. All my subs that I have so far, I got on my own. So I don't care if this channel goes to the point where I eventually make money off of it, because that's not what I started this channel for. I started this channel to have fun with it and give people the knowledge about certain video games they may have never heard about or may have never had knowledge on. And that's what I'm going to continue to do with this channel. If it does grow to the point where I make money off of it, cool, that's fine. I don't care. But as far as like I had said before, people coming at me telling them that they're gonna charge me to like edit videos and stuff, that's not what I'm doing this channel for. If I don't ever edit videos for free, then I'm not gonna edit videos. And my channel is unique in that way, where I don't edit my videos. I freestyle all of my videos. None of my videos are scripted. What you see is what you get. If I fuck up in the video, it stays in the video. It doesn't get edited out of the video. And I think that's another thing about people coming in doing this for the first time too. Don't be scared to fuck up. So many people will look at these YouTube channels and they'll see them and they're so commercialized, and they think, oh, I gotta script my videos and I have to have everything perfect, or people ain't gonna like it. And I don't know. That's not how I look at it. I look at it, just do what you got to do. Just be yourself. Find your own niche. Who cares about what other people are doing? Who cares if their videos are commercialized and stuff like that? I mean, maybe if you get 100,000 subscribers eventually, then maybe YouTube and their algorithms, or however it works, you'll have to kind of start being commercialized and not all over the place, or YouTube's going to be like, what the hell is this person doing? But definitely when you're first starting out, just don't worry about all that commercialization and being perfect on camera and stuff, because I don't know, I think less people are going to want to see that and they're going to want to see, oh, this dude just doesn't care, he just records whatever he wants to and doesn't care what people think about it, and I think that's going to draw more attention to you than being like super like scripted and having a script for your stuff. And yeah, and that's another thing, yeah. My dude brought up in the chat, and that's a good point about also when you're starting off in YouTube and you're starting to go live and stuff. Eventually, and when you get to the point, if your channel gets to the point eventually where you have a lot of subscribers and a lot of followers, there's gonna be those trolls and that riffraff that comes with it, as far as like the live chats and the comments and stuff. You know, my advice to people dealing with that kind of stuff in the future, if you're getting into it, would be the best thing to do with that kind of thing is just to ignore it. Don't pay attention to it, act like it's not there. Once you start feeding into the bullshit and you start feeding into the trolls and stuff, that's when you really give them their platform to do what they want to do. That's when you start letting them win, and start letting them. Then they're like, oh crap, he's replying to me the way that I wanted him to. So my best bet would be on that kind of stuff is just to ignore it, let it go. There's a lot of people that get too butthurt on YouTube about trolls and like people disliking the videos to the point where now YouTube has disabled the dislike button because people are little crybabies and can't deal with a couple of people criticizing a YouTube video. So I would just say, man, don't really pay much attention to it and just ignore it, man. If it really bugs, if a troll or someone disliking your video is really gonna bug you to that point, then you shouldn't be doing YouTube videos. That's just my personal opinion. If you don't like what you're doing and the content that you're doing, aside from people talking shit about it, then you shouldn't be doing YouTube. That's how I feel about that situation. But yeah, we're at 47 minutes. I think I'm going to cut it at about 50 minutes. And then this stream is going to stay up. This live stream is going to stay up on YouTube. If you want to watch it, pay attention to it, get a little feel of how Chris Got Game streams are going to go in the future, and then decide if you want to chime in on the next one or not. And like I said, I'm doing these streams, just anything gaming. Just drop me a question in the chat, whatever you want to know, how I came about getting into video games, and I kind of explain why I started this channel and everything like that, and some of my plans for what I'm going to be doing in the future with it. So yeah, and I plan on eventually in the future possibly doing this. Maybe I could even do it every Thursday at 6. Chris Got Games goes live. So yeah, maybe eventually I'll just get it to where I do it every Thursday. So what do I think about digital games going forward? That all depends. Digital games going forward could be a good thing, and it could be a bad thing. It all depends on what they do with it. I think personally, going forward with digital games, if they want it to be 100% successful in the new normal, they're going to have to make digital games way cheaper than physical games, or it's just not going to work. You can't have digital media be the same price as physical media and expect the masses to buy into it. But yeah, that's going to be about it for the live stream. I'm going to be signing off here. OC Motor, C Ducats on another one with Chris Got Games. And hope to see you guys back here. I might try to do this again next Thursday, so let everybody know. And yeah, I think it was pretty successful in what I wanted to accomplish with this first little live stream on YouTube. So yeah, I'm gonna be signing off here, and hope to see you guys on the next one. Peace.